Greetings and welcome back to the lesson. The subject is Advanced Management Accounting. Today we are going to study the governance and control of strategic management accounting information. Governance and control. Those are two things. Governance and control of strategic management accounting information. You recall in our earlier lessons, we defined strategic management accounting information as the data, analysis, and insights that support the development and implementation of strategic goals of an organization. So, SMA information refers to the data, refers to the analysis and insights that support the development and execution of a company's strategic goals. So the question now here is, how can this strategic management accounting information be governed and be controlled? The control and governance. The governance and control of SMA information. Governance and control of SMA information. That's what we are studying in our today's lesson. And by the end of this lesson, should be able to explain how the SMA information should be governed and controlled. Because candidates, the governance and control of SMA information are crucial aspects of ensuring the effectiveness and the reliability of SMA information. Do you understand? The company needs SMA information to carry out its strategic goals or objectives, to meet its strategic objectives. This information ought to be effective. This information ought to be reliable. So how or in what ways can the organization ensure that this information is not only effective but also reliable? So that's what we're going to study in our today's lesson. So let's begin with governance. 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 Right? One way is under governance is defining of roles and responsibilities. Definition of roles and responsibilities. Definition of roles and responsibilities. The company should clearly define roles and responsibilities for development, maintenance, and utilization of SMA information. And that includes assigning ownership, what we call ownership for specific data points. Assigning ownership for specific data points, analyzing methodologies, and also developing or assigning what we call reporting procedures. Definition of roles and responsibilities. In governance of SMA information, the company should clearly define the roles and responsibilities for development, maintenance, and utilization of SMA information. There ought to be assigning of ownership for specific data points. Do you understand? Then the second point under governance of SMA information, number 2, is what we call data quality and integrity. Data quality and data integrity. The company should establish guidelines and procedures for ensuring data quality, for ensuring completeness, and for ensuring timeliness. The company should implement data quality control measures like audits, like validation checks, and so on. If that happens, then the company will be ensuring effectiveness and reliability of this information. Data quality and integrity. 3, transparency and disclosure. Transparency and disclosure. The company here should ensure transparency in data sources, assumptions, as well as limitations of the SMA information. The company should disclose, should make public, should disclose any potential biases. The company should also disclose any potential uncertainties to users in order to promote informed decision making. Transparency and disclosure. 4, alignment with strategy. Alignment with strategy. The company here ought to integrate the SMA information with the organization's overall strategic goals and objectives. The company should ensure information aligns with strategic priorities. The company should ensure that the information supports strategic decision making at all levels. Governance of SMA information. Alignment with strategy. This SMA information should be aligned with the strategic goals of the organization. If SMA information is not aligned with strategy, then such information will not be effective. Such information may not be reliable. Such information will be useless. So any information, SMA information ought to align with strategy. Another key consideration in governance is what we call stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement. The company should engage key stakeholders in the governance process, including decision makers, including data providers, including information users, and so on. Why? Because stakeholder engagement promotes what we call buy-in. It promotes trust. Buy-in. The users are able to buy in. They are able to trust the SMA information. The users are able to hold the management accountable for SMA information. So these are 5 key considerations in governance of SMA information. How about control? Control. We've discussed the key considerations of SMA, of governance of SMA information. We move on to control. What are the key considerations of SMA, of control of SMA information? Key consideration of control of SMA information. Control of SMA information. That's what we want to discuss next. So the first important consideration is in relation to access and authorization. Access and authorization. Candidates, we all know that SMA information can be sensitive, is in fact sensitive information. And therefore, the company ought to implement access control mechanisms to ensure only authorized users have access to sensitive SMA information. The company should also define different levels of access based on specific needs and roles. So when controlling SMA information, one key consideration is access and authorization. Number two is data security and integrity. Data security and data integrity. Implement robust data security mechanisms or measures to protect SMA information from unauthorized access, from manipulation, from loss, and so on. Security. The data should be secured. Data can only be secured if there are measures or mechanisms to ensure that the data is secure. And that can happen by ensuring that there are regular backups. There should also to be in place what we call data recovery plans. The organization should put in place what we call encryption protocols that are essential in ensuring data security and data integrity. Three, internal controls and audits. This is a key consideration in the control of strategic management accounting information. Internal control and internal audits. The company ought to conduct regular internal audits and reviews of the SMA information processes and systems in order to identify and address any potential errors, biases, or even control weaknesses. Internal control and internal audits. Should I move there? Yes. Number 4. The fourth key consideration in control of SMA information is performance monitoring. Performance monitoring, and related to monitoring we can add reporting. This is a key consideration in the control of SMA information. The company ought to monitor the effectiveness of the SMA information system and its impact on strategic decision making. There should also be regular reporting, regular reports on key performance indicators related to data quality, related to timeliness, and also utilization. 5, continuous improvement. The fourth key consideration of control of SMA information is continuous improvement. The company ought to encourage a culture of continuous improvement for the SMA information systems. And that can be done by implementing feedback mechanisms and actively seeking user input to identify areas for improvement and also enhance the value of SMA information. So continuous improvement. So candidates, these are 5 considerations for control of SMA information. We've discussed 5 key considerations for governance of SMA information. We can have additional or other considerations. Related to these 2. Number 1 is technology and automation. Technology and automation. Technology and automation. The company should utilize technology and automation tools in order to streamline data collection, analysis, and reporting of SMA information, and that can improve efficiency and accuracy. 2, compliance with regulations. Compliance with regulations. Ensure SMA information governance and control processes comply with relevant regulations and industry standards. Ensure that the governance and control of SMA information complies with regulations. All right? Should comply with industry practices, should comply with industry standards, and so on. 3, adaptability and scalability. Scalability, adaptability, and scalability. The organization should design the governance and control frameworks to be adaptable to changes in the organization's strategic environment and to be adaptable to the changing technological landscape. Do you understand? The governance and control frameworks should be designed in a way that is adaptable and scalable, because organizations operate in a dynamic environment. There are always changes in technology, changes in laws, changes in regulations, and such like, and therefore the SMA information system or framework should be adaptable to changes not only in the environment but also changes in the organization strategy, changes in the environment, and changes in the technological landscape. adaptability, and scalability. The SMA information framework or system should be adaptable, should be scalable. 4, communication and training. Communication and training. There ought to be regular communication. Why? Because regular communication is important in governance and control of SMA information. Do you understand? And this communication should be in relation with the stakeholders. Regularly communicate. The company should regularly communicate the importance of SMA information to all the stakeholders. That is communication. Then there is training. The company ought to provide training in these areas we've been talking about. Training in data security, training in data quality, training in transparency and disclosures, training in data integrity, training in access protocols. There should be training generally on all the aspects of SMA information, including training on user responsibility. That's the word I'm looking for. Or put it in other words, responsible information usage. There should be training on responsible information usage. The user should be trained on how to use strategic management information responsibly. So currently, these are some of the measures that the organization can put in place. The measures that the organization can implement. The measures that the organization can implement in order to ensure that there is effective governance and control information. All right? By implementing effective governance and control measures, organizations can ensure the reliability, can ensure the integrity, can ensure the value of SMA information, enabling them to make informed decisions and to achieve their goals and maintain a competitive advantage. So these are key considerations in governance and control of SMA information. We first of all discussed governance, and we gave the first point as definition of roles and responsibilities. Clearly define roles and responsibilities. Number 2, data quality and integrity. Number 3, transparency and disclosure. Number 4, alignment with strategy. We say that SMA information should align with strategy. Number 5, stakeholder engagement. Then we discussed 5 key considerations for control of SMA information. The first point is on access and authorization. Access and authorization. Number 2, data security and integrity. Number 3, internal control and audits. There ought to be regular internal audits within the SMA information. Then number 4 is performance monitoring and reporting. These are 2 things, monitoring and reporting. Then lastly, continuous improvement. Then we will discuss other key considerations related to both governance and control of SMA information. The first point is technology and automation. Technology and automation. We said utilize technology and automation tools to streamline data collection, analysis, and reporting of SMA information. When that happens, then there will be improvement in the efficiency and accuracy of SMA information. The second point is compliance with regulations. Compliance with regulations. Companies should ensure SMA information governance and control practices comply not only with the relevant regulations but also industry standards. Number 3 is adaptability and scalability. The company ought to design the governance and control frameworks in order to adapt to changes in the organization strategy, in order to adapt to changes in the environment, and also changes in the technological landscape. Then lastly, we've discussed communication and training. So thank you for attending the lesson. I'm going to read to you today's revision questions. Number 1, what are the key principles or strategies involved in governing strategic management accounting information to ensure its integrity and reliability for supporting decision-making processes within an organization? Number 2, how do organizations establish effective controls to safeguard strategic management accounting information, ensuring confidentiality, accuracy, and compliance with ethical standards and regulations? Then lastly, discuss the role of management oversight in governing strategic management accounting information, including the implementation of internal controls and the importance of ethical guidelines in its management. Thank you for attending the lesson. Bye-bye.